welcome to the Book Review Podcast. Today we're taking a shortcut, really, to getting truly well-informed about a concept that, well, it could really revolutionize how you approach maybe everything. We're talking about focus, productivity, and, ultimately getting extraordinary results.
Right.
Our source for this deep dive is a really compelling book called The One Thing.
That's right. And the core idea, it sounds simple, almost deceptively simple, but it's profoundly impactful. It's all about focusing on just one critical area to get these outsized results.
Okay.
So our mission today is really to unpack why. Why is this single-minded focus so crucial? And how does it actually work in practice? And maybe most importantly, what does it truly mean for your life? Personally and professionally.
Like a roadmap.
Yeah, think of it like a roadmap to cutting through all the noise.
Exactly. And as we kind of journey through this, we're going to challenge some common misconceptions.
Yeah.
Things about productivity that, let's face it, a lot of us probably believe.
Oh, for sure.
We'll explore some powerful, really practical strategies and reveal how you can protect your precious focus from, the constant onslaught of everyday distractions.
That's relentless.
It really is. So by the end of this deep dive, you'll hopefully have a much clearer understanding of how to make your efforts count where they truly matter most.
Yeah, might lead to some real aha moments, I think.
I hope so.
So let's jump right in. There's that classic proverb, if you chase two rabbits, you will not catch either one. That image, for me, it just perfectly sets the stage for this one thing philosophy. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, absolutely. That proverb, it just nails it. The one thing, philosophy is really all about going small.
Going small.
Yeah, it's like an intentional act. You ignore all the things you could be doing, right?
Yeah.
To laser focus on what you should be doing.
Well, the important stuff.
Exactly. The book's central argument is basically that extraordinary results, they're directly determined by how narrow your focus becomes.
It's rooted in this belief that true success comes from doing just a few things exceptionally well, not trying to juggle everything.
So subtraction, not addition.
Precisely. It's about powerful subtraction, not just piling more onto your plate.
And the core principle for actually achieving this, it's called the domino effect, right? There's that quote from B.J. Thornton, every great change starts like falling dominoes. It sounds almost too simple.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But it's incredibly profound when you really think about it. Success, it turns out, is sequential. It's not simultaneous.
Okay, explain that. Sequential.
Right, so imagine a long line of dominoes. You don't knock them all down at once, right?
No.
You just tip the first one, and that triggers the rest. Highly successful people, they seem to understand this, maybe instinctively. So their daily ritual involves lining up their priorities, figuring out that crucial lead domino, and then, I like how the book puts it, they whack away at it until it falls. Yeah. It's a sequential approach, focusing on the right thing and then the next right thing, and that builds success. That kind of compounds geometrically over time.
So it's not overnight magic.
Definitely not. When you see someone who's achieved a lot like incredible knowledge, amazing skills, significant wealth, it's almost always the result of this patient, one thing at a time, sequential building.
And it's fascinating because this principle, it just shows up everywhere once you start looking. You realize success leaves clues.
Totally.
Think about businesses. Colonel Sanders, right? He didn't launch KFC with 50 menu items.
Wow, just the chicken.
Just that single secret chicken recipe. Or Adolf Coors Company, huge growth, sticking to one core product, Intel, microprocessors. Starbucks started with, a really good cup of coffee.
That was their one thing.
Yeah. And Google, their whole empire started with perfecting search. That became the foundation for their advertising.
Right. The search enabled the ads.
And Apple, their one thing keeps evolving, doesn't it? From Macs to iPods to iPhones, created this huge halo effect where people just buy into the whole ecosystem.
It's a brilliant strategy built on that focused evolution. And it's not just businesses either.
Like individuals too.
Yeah, the book makes this crucial point that no one is self-made. There's almost always a key influence, like a one thing, person, or moment that propelled them forward.
Like who?
Well, Sam Walton, for instance, his father-in-law gave him crucial financial backing and advice early on for his first store, which, eventually led to Walmart.
Well, okay.
Albert Einstein, his mentor, Max Talmud, introduced him to key science texts when he was young. Oprah Winfrey often credits her father for, saving her. And her agent, Jeffrey D. Jacobs, he was the one who convinced her to start Harpo Productions. That single move transformed her from just talent into a media mogul.
Huge difference.
Massive. Even the Beatles had George Martin, the fifth Beatle, right? His musical expertise, the orchestral arrangements that bridged the gap between their raw talent and that iconic sound we know.
That makes sense. And this focus idea, it extends to this really powerful cycle too, doesn't it? Where passion leads to skill and impact.
Oh, absolutely. Pat Matthews, the painter, he didn't just get lucky, he committed to painting one painting a day. That built his skill through sheer volume and focus.
One a day.
Yeah. Or think about Gilbert Tuhobonye, a survivor of the Burundian genocide. His passion was running. That led him to become an All-American athlete, then a coach, and eventually he co-founded the Gazelle Foundation.
Wow.
Yeah, they provide clean water in Burundi through a charity run. It's this amazing feedback loop. Passion drives tons of practice, which builds skill, gets better results, which makes it more enjoyable.
And fuels more passion.
Exactly. It just keeps going.
So, okay, if this single-minded focus is so incredibly powerful, why aren't more of us, achieving these extraordinary results?
Well, that's where the lies come in. The lies.
Okay.
The book argues it's because we've all kind of bought into these powerful but misleading ideas about success. They sabotage our efforts without us even realizing it sometimes.
Let's dig into those. The book calls them the 6 lies about success.
That's it. These are like the deeply ingrained beliefs that subtly steer us totally off course.
Okay, what's the first one?
The first is lie 1, everything matters equally. This is just fundamentally false.
But it feels true sometimes.
Yeah.
My to-do list certainly feels like everything matters equally.
I know, but the book is emphatic. Equality is a lie when it comes to results. Most to-do lists, they're really just survival lists.
Survival lists, I like that.
Yeah, they're just an inventory of tasks, right?
Yeah.
Not a strategic plan for success. They don't tell you what actually moves the needle.
So what's the alternative?
This is where Pareto's principle, the 80-20 rule, is so critical. The book calls it a provable, predictable certainty of nature. Meaning a small minority of your effort, usually around 20%, will almost always produce the majority of your results, like 80%.
Okay, I've heard of that.
Right, but what's even more powerful is taking it further. The book calls it extreme Pareto.
Extreme Pareto.
Yeah, you apply the 80-20 rule again and again, so you find the 20% of the 20% and keep going until you isolate the single most important thing.
Wow. Can you give an example?
Sure. The author talks about brainstorming like 100 ideas for a book, then he narrowed it down, applied Pareto, and found the one idea that became a bestseller. Or for learning guitar, he found that focusing just on the minor blues scale unlocked tons of classic rock solos. It wasn't about learning everything.
It's about finding the vital few or the vital one.
Exactly. You'll always find there are just a few things that matter way more than the rest. And out of those, one will matter most. It's a huge mental shift.
It really is. But it's hard to do when you feel buried under tasks. Okay, so what's the next big lie holding us back?
Lie 2, multitasking. Oh boy, the book just flat out declares multitasking is a lie.
But we all do it. Or we think we do.
We think we do, but the science is really clear on this. There was a big Stanford study by Clifford Nass.
What did you find?
It found that high multitaskers are suckers for irrelevancy. And pretty bluntly, they're lousy at everything they try to juggle.
Ouch. Lousy at everything.
Yeah. What we call multitasking is actually just task switching. You're rapidly shifting your attention, like a juggler throwing and catching one ball at a time, not keeping multiple balls in the air simultaneously.
And that switching has a cost.
A huge switching cost. Matt Richtel won a Pulitzer for his work on distracted driving. He found even just having a phone conversation while driving takes like a 40% bite out of your focus.
40%? That's like
being drunk, yeah. And think about relationships. When you're half listening, half texting, you're giving fragmented attention. It's damaging.
so true. That feeling of being busy but not productive. This could be why.
It's often a direct result of buying into the multitasking lie. You try to do too much at once, you end up doing nothing well.
Okay, so no multitasking. What about discipline? We hear all the time that success requires discipline. That leads to lie 3. A disciplined life. Is that another myth?
You guessed it. That's another lie, or at least a misunderstanding. Success doesn't demand you be this superhuman, constantly disciplined monk.
Oh, thank goodness.
Right. Instead, the book describes success as more like a short race, a sprint fueled by discipline just long enough for habit to kick in and take over.
A sprint, not a marathon of discipline.
Well, exactly. You just need enough discipline to build the right habit. And research from University College London shows it takes, on average, 66 days to form a new habit.
66 days, not 21.
No, the 21-day thing is mostly a myth. The actual range was huge, like 18 to 254 days, but 66 was the average.
Okay, 66 days. That feels achievable.
It is. And here's the cool part, the halo effect. When you successfully build one positive habit, it often spills over positively into other areas.
Like what?
Like people report less stress, they eat better, watch less TV, just from building one key habit.
So focus your discipline on building the one habit that matters most.
Precisely. Build the habit that supports your one thing, and then the routine does the heavy lifting. It becomes almost automatic.
That's a much more encouraging way to think about it. Okay, moving on to lie 4. Willpower is always on will call. We've all been there, right? Your willpower just deserts you when you need it most. Why?
Yeah, it feels like that sometimes. It's because willpower, according to the book and the research, is a limited but renewable resource.
Like a phone battery.
Exactly like a phone battery. It gets depleted throughout the day as you use it for decisions, resisting temptation, focusing, and it needs recharging, usually through rest, good food, taking breaks.
And the marshmallow test relates to this.
Perfectly. That classic test by Walter Mischel, kids offered 1 marshmallow now or 2 if they waited.
Right.
The kids who could delay gratification, who had stronger willpower in that moment, they ended up having significantly better academic results later, much higher SAT scores, like 210 points higher on average.
Wow, 210 points.
Yeah. And greater self-worth, better stress management, it's huge. But when willpower runs low, we tend to just revert to our default settings.
Default settings, like taking the easy path.
Exactly. There was this really striking, maybe slightly scary study on the Israeli parole system.
Yeah.
Judges were far more likely to grant parole, like 65% of the time, right after they'd had a break. But by the end of a long session, when their willpower was drained, the parole rate dropped to almost 0.
Whoa. So they defaulted to no.
They defaulted to the safer, easier decision, no. So the big takeaway for you is time your task.
Okay.
Do your most important work, your one thing, first thing in the day.
When your willpower battery is fully charged.
You got it.
Okay, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
Then there's this dream, this ideal of a balanced life. The book calls this lie 5, a balanced life. And it doesn't just disagree, it calls it an unattainable pipe dream and bunk. That's pretty strong.
It is strong language, yeah, but it's intentional. The argument is that when you're truly pursuing extraordinary results, magic happens at the extremes.
At the extremes. Meaning imbalance.
Meaning you naturally have to put life out of balance in certain areas, at least for a time. The book isn't saying live a chaotic, unbalanced life forever. It introduces a much more realistic idea.
Counterbalancing.
Counterbalancing. How does that work?
It suggests thinking about it differently for work versus personal life. For your work life, you might need to go long.
Go long.
Yeah, embrace spending disproportionate time on your one thing. Except that other work stuff might get out of balance, and you only counterbalance occasionally, maybe reviewing priorities weekly or monthly.
Okay. And personal life?
For your personal life, you need to go short. Don't let things get wildly out of balance for long stretches. You need to tightly counterbalance the important stuff, your health, family, friends, spirit, personal needs. Check in frequently.
So it's about managing the imbalance strategically.
Exactly. There's a great analogy from a James Patterson novel.
Oh, yeah.
He says work is like a rubber ball. If you drop it, it'll probably bounce back. But family, health, friends, integrity, those are like glass ball. If you drop those,
they shatter. They might be irreparably damaged. Knowing which balls are rubber and which are glass is absolutely critical.
Wow. That analogy really clarifies it instantly.
Yeah.
Okay, finally, the last lie. Lie 6. Big is bad. What's this about? Megaphobia.
Yeah, megaphobia, the sort of irrational fear of thinking really big or aiming for massive success. It sounds weird, but this kind of shrinking thinking really does prevent big accomplishments.
How so?
Because, as the book puts it, how big you think becomes the launching pad for how high you achieve. Your ambition sets the ceiling.
So you need to think big before you can achieve big.
Absolutely. Think of J.K. Rowling. She envisioned all 7 Harry Potter books before the first one was even published. Sam Walton was planning his estate to save billions in taxes before Walmart was even a big deal. They had the big vision first.
Right. And you see the impact in the real world, too.
Definitely. Candace Lightner founded MADD with a huge goal, ended up saving, estimates say, over 300,000 lives. Ryan Rilchek, as a kid, started Ryan's Well. Now it provides clean water to over 750,000 people.
Incredible.
Derek Kyungo's Global Soap Project. Hundreds of thousands of bars of soap distributed in dozens of countries. These people thought big.
It connects to that growth mindset idea, too, right?
Exactly. Carol Dweck's research at Stanford, the growth mindset, seeing big possibilities, seeking growth, versus the fixed mindset, which puts artificial limits on yourself. Scott Forstall, who is key in creating the iPhone, he actively sought out people with that growth mindset. Thinking big isn't just fluff, it's a practical, actionable mindset that changes your trajectory.
Okay, so we've unmasked these 6 big lies that hold us back. That clears the way, hopefully. So let's shift now. Let's talk about the practical tools. How do we actually apply the one thing to get those extraordinary results? Where do we start?
We start with the absolute foundation, the focusing question.
The focusing question.
It's simple but powerful. What's the one thing I can do? And you fill in the blank for what area, like for my health or for my projects, such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary.
Easier or unnecessary. That's the key part.
That's the leverage point. The book really stresses that great questions are the path to great answers, the quality of the answers you get in life. It really depends on the quality of the questions you're asking yourself.
Like that poem, My Wage.
Exactly. J.B. Rittenhouse's poem, the lines, "Any wage I had asked of life, life would have willingly paid."
It's profound. How we frame our questions genuinely shapes what's possible for us.
And the can-do part of the question.
Crucial, because action you can do beats intention every time. This question forces you to think about levered action. What's a first domino I could actually push over right now?
Okay, that's a powerful filter. How does that question lead to consistent action then?
It flows directly into the success habit, goal setting to the now. This connects everything. Your deep purpose, your immediate priority, and your daily productivity.
Like the iceberg analogy.
Exactly like the iceberg. Productivity, profit. That's the tip you see. But purpose and priority, that's the huge hidden foundation underneath driving it all.
So how do you connect them? Think about Scrooge in A Christmas Carol. His purpose shifted, right? From money to people. And that one shift totally changed his priorities, his actions, everything. Goal setting to the now is this brilliant way to make that concrete.
How does it work? Like nesting dolls.
Precisely, like Russian matryoshka dolls. You start with a big someday goal, then you break it down. What's my 5-year goal to get there? My 1-year goal, my monthly, weekly, daily, until you get to what's my one thing right now?
Connecting the far-off vision to this immediate moment.
Exactly. And research shows visualizing the process, the steps you need to take right now, is way more effective than just dreaming about the outcome.
Okay, that makes sense. And writing it down helps.
Massively. Dr. Gail Matthews did a study. People who just wrote down their goals were almost 40% more likely to achieve them.
Just writing them down.
Yep, 39.5% more likely. But get this, the ones who wrote them down, A&D, sent progress reports to friends, they were 76.7% more likely to succeed.
Whoa. That's huge.
Yeah.
Accountability really works.
It really, really does. That social connection, that reporting, it makes a massive difference.
So, okay, you've used the focusing question. You set your goals down to the now.
Yeah.
How do you actually protect the time to do that one thing? Life gets in the way.
Yes. This is where time blocking in practice becomes your absolute superpower. The most successful people, they are ruthless about time blocking their one thing.
Meaning they schedule it like an appointment.
Exactly. They set aside dedicated, non-negotiable, protected time for their absolute top priority. Paul Graham talks about the maker's schedule versus the manager's schedule.
Maker versus manager.
Yeah. Makers need long, uninterrupted blocks for deep work, for creating, for doing their one thing. That's usually best in the morning. Managers deal with meetings, oversight. They can often fit better in the afternoon in shorter chunks.
So block out morning maker time.
Ideally, yes. And adopt a one-and-done mindset for that block. You don't stop until that specific one-thing task is finished. You work on event time, not just watching the clock.
But how do you protect that block? The interruptions are constant.
You have to be fierce. Learn to say no. Remember Steve Jobs being proud of the products Apple didn't make. Focusing is about saying no.
Right.
If you absolutely have to reschedule your time block, do it immediately. Don't just let it disappear. And internalize this mantra. Until my one thing is done, everything else is a distraction.
Everything else is a distraction. I like that.
You can even create a bunker. Have your snacks, your water, whatever you need. Sweep for minds, turn off the phone ringer, close email, shut down distracting browser tabs, and tell people. Let colleagues or family know you're in focus time.
Build a fortress around it.
Build a fortress around your most important work. Yes.
These are great practical steps. Beyond this daily practice, what about the bigger picture? What are the core commitments needed for mastery and sustained results?
The book highlights 3 big ones. First is follow the path of mastery.
Meaning
Mastery isn't a destination you arrive at, it's a continuous journey. We hear about the 10,000-hour rule from Anders Ericsson.
Right, deliberate practice.
Yeah, roughly 3-4 hours of deliberate practice daily for elite performance. But it's not just putting in time, it's the quality of that time. There's a great story about Jigoro Kano, the founder of judo.
Oh.
He supposedly asked to be buried wearing his white belt.
His white belt?
Yeah.
But he was the founder?
Exactly. It wasn't false humility. It symbolized his commitment to being a lifelong learner, always starting, always growing, even at the absolute peak.
Wow, that's a powerful image. Okay, what's the second commitment?
Move from E, entrepreneurial, to P, purposeful.
MVP.
Yeah. The E approach is doing things the way that feels natural, using your current skills, staying in your comfort zone. It's how most of us start.
It was limiting.
It's limiting.
Yeah.
It often leads to hitting an okay plateau.
Yeah.
Most people learn to type okay, maybe 40 words per minute, and then they just stay there for years, right? They don't actively try to get better.
Right, so P is different.
P is purposeful. It means actively, constantly seeking the best way to do something, even if it feels unnatural or difficult at first. It means adopting new ways of thinking, learning new skills, finding new mentors or relationships, anything to break through those plateaus.
Always looking for a better way.
Always pushing to find the ceiling of the current approach and then finding a way to break through it.
Yeah.
If you want extraordinary results, you have to be purposeful, not just entrepreneurial or comfortable.
Makes sense. And the third commitment?
3, live the accountability cycle.
Accountability again, so important.
Absolutely critical. This means taking full ownership of your results, the good and the bad, no excuses, and finding accountability partners, mentors, peers, maybe a coach.
Why are they so important?
They provide objective feedback. They help you see your blind spots. They keep you on track. Remember Dr. Matthews' research. Reporting progress to someone else boosted success rates by over 76%. And Ericsson's research on elite performers, they all seek out coaches and teachers for that supervised, deliberate practice. Amateurs practice, professionals get coached. A coach is invaluable for moving from E to P and staying accountable. You don't have to go it alone.
Okay, so path of mastery, E to P thinking, and living accountability.
Got it.
Now, even with all these tools and commitments, things can still go wrong. We can get derailed.
Absolutely.
The book talks about the 4 thieves of productivity. These are the common pitfalls, right?
Exactly. The things that sneak in and steal your focus and progress.
What's the first thief?
The first one is the 1, inability to say no.
Ah, the people pleaser trap.
Totally. The book says 1 yes must be defended over time by 1,000 no's. Think about that.
Wow. 1 yes, 1,000 no's.
It's true. Every time you say yes to something less important, you're implicitly saying no to your one thing. Remember Steve Jobs again. Focusing is about saying no.
So how do you say no without, upsetting everyone?
The book gives ideas. You can say no gracefully, maybe offer to help later, suggest someone else who might be better suited, or just clearly explain that you're committed to another priority right now. But you have to protect your yes. Bill Cosby said it well. I don't know the key to success, but the key to failure is trying to please everybody.
That definitely hits home. Okay, thief number 2.
2, fear of chaos. This is a big one. When you really focus, when you strive for something great, the book warns chaos is guaranteed to show up.
Chaos. Like things get messy.
Yeah, other parts of your work or life might feel neglected temporarily. Things might pile up. Francis Ford Coppola said, anything you build on a large scale or with intense passion invites chaos.
So don't panic when it gets messy.
Exactly. Accept it as a temporary side effect of intense focus. Trust that working on your one thing will eventually give you the resources, the time, the money, the help to deal with that chaos later. Don't let the fear of a messy desk stop you from building an empire.
Good advice. And the third thief.
3. Poor health habits. This feels basic, but it's so easily sacrificed. The question the book asks is powerful. If you don't take care of your body, where will you live?
Oof, good point.
So true. The book suggests having a highly productive person's daily energy plan. It's holistic.
Covering what?
Spiritual energy, like meditation or prayer. Physical energy, eating right, exercise, sleep. Emotional energy, hugs, laughter, connection. Mental energy, setting goals, planning. And of course, your business energy time, blocking your one thing.
It's about managing energy, not just time.
Exactly. And the key is to front load your day. Invest in energizing yourself first thing in the morning. That energy then pulls you through the day with much less effort later on. Your willpower lasts longer.
Smart. Okay, that leaves the fourth and final thief.
4. Environment doesn't support your goals. This one has 2 key parts. First, people.
The company you keep.
Absolutely. Oprah's advice is perfect. Surround yourself only with people who are going to lift you higher. Research backs this up strongly. There's a real halo effect.
Meaning their success rubs off.
Yeah, having high-achieving friends boosts your own motivation, your grades, your performance. Their drive is contagious, so choose your circle wisely.
And the second part of environment.
Place. Your physical surroundings, home and work, need to support your goals. You need to actively sweep for distractions. Identify and get rid of the things in your environment that pull you away from your focus time. That could be email pop-ups, the news constantly on, clutter, maybe even certain social interactions during your prime time.
So consciously design your space for focus.
Consciously design it to clear the path to your one thing. Make it easy to succeed.
Wow. We've covered so much ground. From understanding the core idea to busting those myths, getting the practical tools, the commitments, and now avoiding the thieves. It feels like we've really circled back. We started by talking about how overwhelming things can feel, all the distractions, those lies holding us back. But by really understanding and focusing on your one thing, the path becomes much clearer.
It does.
That core message from the book feels incredibly empowering now. If you try to do everything, you could wind up with nothing. If you try to do just one thing, the right one thing, you could wind up with everything you ever wanted.
That really sums it up beautifully. And it underscores that core truth, doesn't it? Success is fundamentally an inside job.
An inside job.
Yeah, like that old story, the puzzle of the world. The boy couldn't solve it until he saw the picture of the man on the back. He put the man together, and the world just fell into place.
Oh, I like that.
It's the same here. When you bring purpose, priority, and productivity together in your own life, focused on your one thing, those extraordinary results, they stop being just a possibility. They start becoming, well, almost inevitable. You become the first domino.
The first domino. Okay. So as everyone listening reflects on all this, I want to leave you with one last, maybe provocative thought to chew on. What is the one thing you can do, starting right now, today, such that by doing it, you make sure that 20 years from now, you look back and say, I'm so glad I did that, instead of looking back with regret and saying, man, I wish I had.
That's a powerful question.
It makes you think, right? Mark Twain had wisdom on this, and you hear about the most common regrets of the dying. Things like working too hard on the wrong things or not letting themselves be happy, or this focus, this one thing. It really points toward the ultimate prize. A life lived fully with no regrets.
A life of meaning and accomplishment, not just busyness.
Exactly. So maybe try applying that focusing question to different parts of your life, your family, your health, your career, your community. What's the one thing there? Because the one thing concept, it's real. And if you put it to work, it will work. Thanks for listening to the Book Review Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a comment. See you next time.